I got this Suhr ALT-T guitar. Had it for a couple of weeks, and as always, it doesn't quite play as well as I'd like. I'm really fussy with the setup on guitars. It's a brilliant guitar, but it doesn't play as well as my NF3, my PRS, which I use a lot of the time. It's become the standard for me that I compare other guitars to. So this doesn't quite play as well, and strangely, for a guitar that's 8 years old, it feels almost too new. It needs playing in. Let's get it out and show you. So basically, it needs playing a lot. It feels like a brand new guitar in a bad way. And it needs playing a lot. So I thought, what I'm going to do, I've got lots of guitars, I'm going to use this for a month and not play any of my other guitars. So I'm going to use it for any gigs, any guitar lessons I do, which will be quite a lot in a month, and any other playing that I do, recording, anything I do, I'm going to use this for a month from today. And then I'll come back and film the last part of this video after a month and let you know what I think. The playability of this guitar is perfectly good. I mean, it's a Suhr, it's going to play well. It's perfectly good. It's just I don't feel as comfortable on it as I do on my PRS. And I think if I play it for a month without touching anything else, I think that will solve that problem. Sound-wise, it's brilliant. So you can sort of do anything with these. They're well known for being incredibly versatile. Got the two humbuckers, and you can in the second and fourth positions with the switch, you've got the humbuckers split, so you get really nice single coil sounds on this. Anyway, I'm going to play it for a month. I'll come back on here, let you know what I think. I'm going to restring it now with my preferred strings, and these are the ones it just came with, and I'll let you know what I think. Okay, thanks. Hi, right, I've been playing this for a month. I haven't played any of my other guitars, except, if I'm being really honest, then I have done a couple of lessons on an acoustic guitar, and in a couple of my electric lessons I've used a different guitar for low tuning, but almost exclusively I've just been playing this guitar for a month, which is unusual for me. I normally sort of flip between different ones. I've used it for gigs, for lots and lots of guitar lessons, in person and online, in schools here, loads of lessons, any other playing I've done, any recording, which I haven't done a lot of in the last month, but any recording I have done, and any playing, any practice, I've used this guitar. Right, so what do I think of it now? I like it more than I did at the beginning of the month, and I really like the neck, the feel of the neck. The neck it's bigger than I first thought, so certain things are a little bit difficult to play if you're used to, or like me, used to a slightly slimmer neck on some of my other guitars. This is a really quite chunky neck, and it's almost like more of a D kind of shape than a C in a way. It's quite it's hard to explain, but it's a handful. I'll just put it like that. It's not necessarily a bad thing though. I mean, it's just some things were a little bit awkward to reach compared to some of my other guitars I found. But playability, I've tweaked it a few times, and it's great. And it sounds superb. It's really good. They're really good pickups. What I have found, and this is not so much a review of the guitar, I suppose it's more sort of just what suits what I do, is I've used the in-between sort of settings, or the single coil settings, which is the second position here and the fourth position, which is I think the split humbucker here, and then the two humbuckers both split. I've used those two settings quite a bit more than I have the full humbucker settings, which is interesting. They're really good. They're really nice, usable single coil sounds. I really like those on it. I love this cutaway here. I don't know if you can tell on the video, but it's kind of shaped. It's smoother than it is on a Fender, and I've loved that. This is also shaped, and that's quite cool. when I've used it on a couple of gigs, I found it was digging into my ribs. The PRS I normally use on gigs has got the Strat type cut out there, and I really noticed that with this, not having that. But I've been playing other telly type guitars and I hadn't noticed it, but for some reason with this guitar I did. I think it might be to do with my strap height, so strap length. So that's probably not really something to even be talking about. What else can I say? Tuning wise, I did think that perhaps it didn't stay in tune as well as I expected from a guitar like this. But then I've recently sort of realised that I think when I put it in the gig bag, this one, because it comes with a gig bag, this one gets knocked, because that top E is always out of tune when I take it out of the gig bag. But once it's out and I'm using it, it's fine. So I think that's just that. The gig bag, by the way, is very good, and a lot of people online talk about these guitars and sort of complain because it's a really expensive guitar. It comes with a gig bag. Well, it's a very good gig bag. It's about as good as any gig bag I've ever seen. It's a brilliant gig bag. I'd imagine it would cost quite a bit to buy one of these. I don't know whether you can, but it's a really good quality gig bag. And I think, for me, that's more useful than a hard case anyway, because for a guitar of this type, like a Fender type guitar, I'm always going to be putting it in a gig bag. If I use a Gibson, I tend to use a hard case, but for a Fender type guitar, bolt on neck, non-angled headstock, I'm going to be using a gig bag. So that gig bag's great. I'm really pleased with that. What else? Oh yeah, typical telly thing, that came off. So I need to stick that back on. That's quite annoying. This guitar, I probably said at the beginning of the video, this is a few years old anyway. It's 8 years old. So I didn't expect it to be like a new guitar with things like that. It's still a little bit annoying that no one's kind of come up with a design on a telly where this doesn't come off. So I'll have to do the old bit of blue tack thing with that. Anything else I can say about it? The humbuckers are very good, even though I've mainly used the single coil settings on them. The actual full humbucker sounds are great. It's a really, really versatile guitar, as everyone says, but it lives up to my expectations of it as far as the sounds go. It's brilliant. And I found on gigs, I normally use a boost pedal. I could be playing on that position, which is these two pickups both split, with a kind of a single coil sort of sound for chords and things, and for solos I didn't even need to hit a pedal. I could just go like that, then you're on the full bridge humbucker, and the boost in volume is significant, enough for most guitar solos, which is amazing. Now you could see that as a negative thing, because it means that the settings here, they're quite unbalanced in terms of volume, but that's, for me, that's a good thing. It's brilliant to have that just flicked onto there, and then you've got the boost. So it's not a boost, it's just you're going onto the full humbucker. Yeah, anyway, so really good. I restrung it at the beginning of this month-long test. I restrung it, it had 10s on it, and I put 9s on it because I didn't really like the 10s on it. I normally use 10s, but on this guitar, I didn't really feel like the 10s kind of suited it for me, so I put 9s on it. And yeah, I'm not sure I like those either. I think they're too flimsy. So I'm going to go for 9 to 46 on this, which is a hybrid set where you've got basically a set of 9s here, a set of 10s there. I'm going to put those on next and see how I get on with those. And I think that will probably be about right on this guitar. So yeah, brilliant guitar. I definitely like it more than I did at the beginning. So playing it exclusively for a month has been really useful. And I can see how people have these and only use these and don't play other guitars. I'm not saying I'm going to do that. I'm a bit attached to my PRS that I've got, the NF3, but so I don't think this would replace that. But it's certainly something I'll probably end up using as much, if not more, than the PRS. And my other guitars probably won't get a look in now. So yeah, I hope that was useful if you're looking at these guitars, or even if you're not. Hope it's useful. It's a Telecaster, but it's got the humbuckers and it's got the rock sounds. So I'm going to do another test comparing it to my Maybach Telemann, which is another thin line Telecaster, but that one is very much a Telecaster type guitar. It's got the two single coils, vintage voiced single coils. I've compared them acoustically, but I'm going to compare them plugged in just as a little test, just to see if this can, I mean, that's a great sounding Telecaster, the Maybach, so I'm going to see if this will do the standard Telecaster thing as well as that. If it does, then the Maybach may be going, but we'll see. Okay, thanks for watching.